The incomplete order. Once, King Krishna Deva Raya was taking pearls and diamonds to gift to the Brahmins. He asked Tenali Rama to accompany him. Tenali Rama was ready at once. The king sat astride a horse and put the bag containing the precious gems on the horse's back. He said to Tenali Rama, "Tenali, you keep walking behind our horse and keep an eye if the gems fall down." Tenali Rama started walking behind the horse as ordered by the king. After some time, as a result of a small hole in the bag, the precious gems started falling down. The king had asked Tenali Rama to only keep an eye on the gems which fell out of the bag. Hence, Tenali Rama only watched them falling down but did not say anything to the king. After a while, they reached a lake. The king climbed down from his horse and went to rest under a large and shady tree. After resting a while, he decided to take a dip in the cool waters of the lake. He removed his clothes and handed it over to Tenali Rama. As soon as he entered the water, he started shouting, "Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna." In Kannada, the word Hare means to tear, and Tenali Rama's full name was Tenali Ramakrishna. Hence he thought that the king is asking him to tear something. At that moment, he only had the king's clothes, so he tore all of them one by one. After some time, when the king came out of the water, he told Tenali, "Come on, Tenali, hand me my clothes." Upon hearing this, Tenali Rama handed over the torn clothes to the king. The king was astonished to see his clothes torn and angrily asked Tenali the reason for it. "O king, I was merely obeying your orders. You said Hare and hence I tore the clothes. O king, just as you had asked me to keep an eye on any precious stones that fell down." The king laughed heartily and then said, "What did you mean by that precious stone statement? Go and fetch both the bags." Tenali went and brought the two bags. The king was stunned when he saw the two bags. There were two holes in the bags, and the precious stones had vanished. "Oh, there are no precious stones in these bags." Tenali replied, "O king, you had asked me to merely keep an eye on any falling precious stones. Hence I kept watching them fall down." The king realized his mistake. He understood how inappropriate it was to give an incomplete order. He was repentant about it. The Last Wish. Raja Krishnadeva Raya's mother had grown very old with time. Once, she fell seriously ill. She felt that she would die soon. She loved mangoes, and therefore, in her last days, she wanted to donate mangoes. She expressed this wish of wanting to donate mangoes to Brahmins to her son, the king. She believed such a donation would help her attain Swarga. Unfortunately, it wasn't the mango season. And after a few days, the king's mother passed away without being able to fulfill her wish. After her death, the king called all the learned Brahmins and said, "My mother used to love mangoes, and therefore, in her last days, wished to donate mangoes." After a brief silence, the Brahmins said,
O king, it is indeed very unfortunate. If her last wish remains unfulfilled, then she cannot achieve salvation. She would have reached the Pret Yoni, and till the time her last wish is fulfilled, her soul will not rest in peace, and she will continue to wander about in the Pret Yoni. O king, you must take steps to ensure that her soul rests in peace.
"So tell me, how do I fulfill her last wish?"
In order to ensure that her soul rests in peace, you will have to donate golden mangoes, O king. Give them away on your mother's death anniversary.
Hence, on his mother's death anniversary, the king invited a few Brahmins to a feast and donated golden mangoes to each of the Brahmins. When Tenali Ram came to know of this, he immediately understood that the Brahmins were exploiting the king's good nature and innocence. He thought of a plan to teach the Brahmins a lesson. The next day, Tenali Rama sent an invitation card to all those Brahmins. It mentioned that he too wanted to donate on his mother's anniversary because she too had died with an unfulfilled wish. Tenali Rama had hitherto been unable to fulfill his mother's wish, and ever since he had learnt that she would be wandering in the Pret Yoni due to this unfulfilled wish, he was very sad. He wanted to ensure that his mother would rest peacefully as soon as possible. All the Brahmins thought that they would get a large donation from Tenali Rama too, as he was the court jester and a very rich man. All of them reached Tenali Rama's house at the appointed time. The Brahmins were served a lavish and delicious feast. After the feast, all of them were eagerly awaiting the donation. Suddenly, they saw that Tenali Rama was heating iron rods in the fire.
Oh, sir, what are you doing?
My mother was suffering from joint pains when she died. She was in extreme pain, and before I could foment her with hot rods, the poor woman had died. Now, so that her soul may rest in peace, I would have to do unto you as was her last wish. The Brahmins were flabbergasted.
How is that possible, sir? Who told you that by burning us with hot rods, your mother's soul would rest in peace?
No, friends, I'm not lying. If the king can donate golden mangoes for the peace of his mother's soul, by this act of his mother would attain peace in heaven, then why can't I fulfill my mother's last wish?
Tenali Rama, please forgive us. We will give the golden mangoes back to you. Just let us go.
Tenali Rama took the golden mangoes and let the Brahmins go. But a greedy Brahmin went and told everything to the king. When the king heard this, he flew into a rage and immediately called Tenali Rama. Tenali, if you wanted golden mangoes, you could have asked me. How have you become so greedy as to have taken the golden mangoes from the Brahmins? O king, I am not greedy. On the contrary, I was trying to curb the greed of the Brahmins. If they can accept golden mangoes on your mother's death anniversary, then why can't they accept hot iron rods on my mother's death anniversary? The king understood the meaning of Tenali Rama's statement and said, "All right, but in future, don't ever be greedy again." A cow for a cat. Once upon a time, the kingdom of Vijayanagar was plagued by rat menace. In order to get rid of this problem, the king announced that each family would be provided with a cat to catch the rats. In order to offset the cost of rearing a cat, it was decided that each house would be provided with a cow as well, so that the cats could be fed the cow's milk. Tenali Rama did not like the king's decision, and he hit upon a plan to put his point across to the king. According to the plan, Tenali Rama started feeding his cat with hot milk every day. The moment the cat drank the milk, its tongue would get scalded. Gradually, the cat gave up drinking milk. One day, the king went to town to inspect the cats. He saw that all the cats were healthy, but Tenali Rama's cat was weak and thin. "Tenali, why is your cat so thin and weak?" "O king, this cat refuses to drink milk." In order to verify Tenali Rama's claim, the king ordered the cat to be fed milk. But the moment the cat saw the milk, it ran away. The king suspected that Tenali Rama was up to some mischief, and he definitely would have done something because of which the cat was not drinking milk. The king grew angry and told his soldiers, "Give Tenali Rama 100 lashes." Tenali Rama looked at the king and said, "O king, Punish me if you will. I do not mind at all. But when I see that there is not enough milk for human beings, then feeding cats with milk is very inappropriate. The king immediately realized his mistake and ordered that the cow's milk be used for human beings. Sick horses. This story pertains to the time when the fear of an unknown disease was wreaking havoc on the kingdom of Vijayanagar. This unknown disease was the talk of the town. This unknown disease was afflicting the horses. Any horse that contracted this disease would not get cured and would die. The horses of Vijayanagar were of a good breed and quite expensive too. But everyone was terrified that his horse might be afflicted with this unknown disease. Gradually, there was chaos everywhere. Expensive horses of a good pedigree started getting sold at huge discounts. That was because the news of this unknown disease afflicting horses and causing their death was spreading like wildfire. Many people, including soldiers, sold off their horses. When King Krishnadeva heard this, he ordered his attendants to take special care of the palace horses. One of the attendants said, "O king, it is quite surprising that all the horses in the royal stables are completely healthy." The king was quite worried when he heard this. He summoned Tenali Ram and said, "Tenali Ram, the horses of our kingdom are being sold because of the fear of this unknown disease. But what surprises me is that all the palace horses are completely healthy. I want you to investigate this matter." "As you say, O king." Tenali Rama began his investigations. He asked a few of his men to roam around in the town. After a few days, his men arrested a few persons and produced them in the court. The king asked them, "What were you doing when you were arrested?"
O king, we were discussing about the sick horses.
"So have you seen any sick horse?"
No, O king, we have merely heard about it.
The king immediately understood that it was only a rumor. There was no disease at all spreading in the horses. But the king was unable to think of a way to put an end to these rumors. Because the kingdom was rife with rumors and everybody had his own theory. Each would describe the disease in his own sweet way. Tenali Rama could sense that the king was worried. He asked his men to be even more alert. 2 days later, Tenali Rama produced a man and a woman in the court and told the king, "I had sent my men into town. They have arrested these 2 people. Both of them belong to our neighboring country." The king grew angry and said, "What are you doing in my kingdom?" But there was no response. Both of them stood there silently. They glanced once towards Tenali Ram and quickly turned back. Their silence further enraged the king. "Out with it, you two, or else I will have you beheaded." Upon hearing this, both of them started trembling with fear. Then Tenali Ram said, "O Majesty, I'll tell you. The neighboring king had sent them to spread false rumors so that our countrymen sold horses at cheap prices. They then wanted to buy those horses and use them for their cavalrymen. On the other hand, our soldiers and cavalrymen were losing their confidence on account of this disease. Although our kingdom had the best soldiers and cavalrymen, but lack of self-confidence was weakening our army. And in such a situation, if the neighboring country would have attacked, then they would have won and we would have been defeated." "What a terrible plan!" the king exclaimed. The king immediately announced that no one was to sell his horses on account of false rumors of the disease. Thus, Vijayanagar got rid of the unknown disease amongst its horses. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. The king thanked Tenali Rama and his men and rewarded them. 2 thieves. Many incidents of thefts were taking place in Vijayanagar. Everyone was on the alert and on the lookout for the thieves. One night, while he was sleeping, Tenali Rama heard some sounds in the bushes near his house. For a while, he concentrated on those sounds and then came to the conclusion that they were thieves hidden in the bushes. He conferred with his wife and came up with a plan. After a while, the thieves outside Tenali Rama's house heard Tenali Rama's voice. He was telling his wife, "Oh darling, you must always stay alert. Keep all the windows and doors always locked. I've heard that there is a spate of thefts in the town. In fact, I'm quite worried about your jewelry. That is why I have put all your jewelry in this large box. Now we will throw this box into the well in our garden, and thus the thieves will never be able to steal this jewelry." The thieves heard it all. After a while, they saw that Tenali and his wife were taking a large box towards the well. They threw the box into the well and went back inside the house and bolted all doors and windows. The thieves were delighted at this golden opportunity. In order to fish out the box from the well, they kept drawing out water throughout the night. By morning, they were dead tired, but hadn't managed to fish out the box. Suddenly, they saw Tenali Rama approaching them and started running away. "Hey friends, thank you. You have watered the plants in my garden. Tell me, how much do I owe you for your efforts?"
Sir, please forgive us.
And both of them fell at Tenali Rama's feet and begged for forgiveness. They promised Tenali Rama that they would never ever steal. Only then did Tenali Rama allow them to go, and the two thieves ran away as fast as they could. The colorful sweets. It was springtime, and Raja Krishnadeva Raya was extremely pleased. He was strolling in the garden with Tenali Rama. He wanted to celebrate in such a manner that everyone in his kingdom could participate. He wanted a festive atmosphere all around his kingdom. He wanted to consult Tenali Rama in this regard. Tenali Rama appreciated the king's thought, and it was ordained that a national festival be celebrated in Vijayanagar. The entire town was cleansed. Streets and buildings were illuminated. The entire town was decorated with flowers. There were celebrations all around. The king announced that colorful sweets would be sold at all sweet shops to celebrate this national festival. After the announcement, all the sweet makers got busy in preparing the sweets. Tenali Rama had not attended court for many days. The king sent his soldiers to inquire after Tenali Rama, but they could not find Tenali Rama. The soldiers reported this to the king. The king grew extremely worried. He ordered the soldiers to search even more thoroughly. After a few days, the soldiers did manage to find Tenali Rama. They came back and told the king,
"O king, Tenali Rama has opened a clothes dyeing shop and he remains busy there the entire day. When we asked him to accompany us, he refused."
The king was furious when he heard this. He told the soldiers,
"I order you to immediately bring Tenali Rama to the court, and if he refuses, then drag him here."
The soldiers obeyed the king's order and dragged Tenali Rama to the court. The king asked Tenali,
"Tenali Rama, why did you refuse to accompany the soldiers that I had sent? And why have you turned into a dyer? You have a handsome position in my court, and I'm sure you are able to satisfy all your needs from that."
"Oh, Majesty, actually I wanted to dye my clothes for the national festival. And I wanted to complete the process of dyeing before we ran out of colors."
"Run out of colors? What do you mean, Tenali? Is everybody dyeing his clothes?"
"No, Your Majesty. In fact, following your order regarding the colorful sweets, all the sweet makers have been busy buying colors for their sweets. If all the colors are used up for sweets, then how would I dye my clothes, O king?" The king realized his mistake.
So what you are telling me is that my order was inappropriate. The sweet sellers have been misusing my order to color their sweets with inferior
and harmful colors. They should be using only food-grade colors. And then the king looked at Tenali Rama. The usual smile was back on Tenali Rama's face. Raja Krishnadeva Raya ordered, all sweet sellers who are using harmful chemical colors should be severely punished. Thus, Tenali Rama used his intelligence once again to protect the people of Vijayanagar. Tenali's experiment. Tenali was loved by one and all for his intelligence and wisdom. But Rajguru, the royal teacher, was jealous of Tenali. There were some sycophantic courtiers too who were on Rajguru's side. One day, all of them got together and devised a plan to insult Tenali. Rajguru went and told the king, Your Highness, I have heard that Tenali Rama has mastered the science of alchemy with the Paras stone. The Paras stone is a magical stone which can transform even iron into gold. If that is true, then I will speak to Tenali about it. But, O king, do not tell him that I have given you this information. That day, when Tenali reached the court, the king said, Tenali, I have heard that you have the Paras stone in your possession, and having mastered the science of alchemy, you have amassed a lot of wealth. The intelligent Tenali immediately understood that it was somebody's ploy to instigate the king against him. Hence, he told the king, Yes, your majesty, it is true. Then you must demonstrate your skill right now in this court. But I can't do so, O king. I need some time. Tomorrow morning, I will demonstrate how to transform iron into gold. Rajguru and his associates were gloating over the fact that Tenali Rama had been trapped. The next day, Tenali Rama came to the court with a stray dog and said to the king, O king, even if you put this dog's tail into a straight pipe and keep it like that for many years, it will not straighten. It refuses to give up its crooked nature. We all know that, Tenali. But I want to prove it, O king. Don't be foolish, Tenali. We all know that you can't straighten a dog's tail. In fact, even you know that it's not possible to straighten this dog's tail, because staying crooked is its nature. You are right, O king. That is what I wanted to show you, and prove that it is not possible to straighten this dog's tail against its natural inclination. Similarly, iron will not let go of its natural state and be transformed into gold. Raja Krishnadeva Raya immediately understood that he had blindly believed Rajguru's words. While he did not say anything to Rajguru, he rewarded Tenali for his wisdom. Rajguru and his fellow courtiers hung their heads in shame. That was indeed the fitting dishonor and punishment for them. Tenali's son. In Raja Krishnadeva Raya's palace, there was a large garden. Various types of beautiful flowers blossomed there. Once, a foreigner presented him with a creeper which had roses growing on it. Amongst all the plants in his garden, this creeper was the king's favorite. One day, the king noticed that the number of roses on his creeper were dwindling. He thought that someone must be stealing those roses. He asked the sentries to be alert and nab the rose thief. The very next day, the sentries nabbed the thief red-handed. It was none other than Tenali Rama's son. According to the prevalent customs, whenever a thief was nabbed, he was paraded through the streets of Vijayanagar. Tenali Rama also got to hear that his son had been nabbed while stealing roses. When Tenali Rama's son was passing his house with the soldiers, Tenali's wife said to him, if he couldn't do anything to save his son, to which Tenali Rama responded loudly so that his son could hear, What can I do? But he can save himself if he tries to use his sharp tongue. When Tenali Rama's son heard this, he could not understand. He started wondering what his father's statement could mean. He was sure that his father had spoken so loudly so that he could hear. But what could using his sharp tongue mean? If only he could understand that, he could save himself. After a while, the true meaning of his father's words dawned on him. Using his sharp tongue meant that he should eat the sweet roses before anybody could see. Without any further ado, he started eating the roses one by one, and by the time he reached the palace, he had eaten all the roses without the soldiers even noticing it. The soldiers presented Tenali Rama's son before the king.
We have caught this boy red-handed while stealing roses. Such a young boy and a thief?
The king asked in amazement. Upon this, Tenali Rama's son said,
O king, I was merely passing by the garden, but these people have arrested me to please you. I feel that they themselves must be stealing the roses. I have not stolen any rose. Can you see any rose in my possession? If I was caught red-handed, then there should be roses in my hands, isn't it? O king, ask your soldiers where those roses are.
The king and the soldiers were surprised to find that there were no roses. The king said angrily,
How dare you call a straightforward boy a thief?
You don't have an ounce of proof to prove his guilt.
Go away and don't ever again accuse
anyone without proof. Thus Tenali Rama's son saved himself because of Tenali Rama's intelligence.